what's going on? Welcome along to episode 31 of the
31.
Strategy
Wow.
and Conversions podcast. Mark, we mentioned last time as well, we're going to be changing things around a little bit. We're going to be bringing on some guests and stuff like that, and just changing the format of what we do with the podcast. But this one, we thought we'd just run through really what we're going to be doing. And we've titled this episode, "We're Starting a New Business." Right. And that can be a bit confusing for people. That nothing's changing with strategy and conversions. We're growing. We've got plans to, I was going to say world domination, but not that kind of far, right? But just plans to really make a bit of a difference. And part of making that difference, we have a couple of programs called around momentum. So we've got Momentum Accelerator and we've got Momentum Builder. And the whole point in there is we work with a business or we work with an individual where they want to get more customers in for a particular service or product. They want to make more money from a particular service or product, or just make more kind of income streams. And with that, we just said, well, look, we need to show people how it can be done as well. So it's all well and good as telling you, okay, look, do this, do that. It's like, where's the proof in the pudding? So we kind of just said, we're going to do it as well. So what we would do is we're starting a business maybe is a little bit misleading, but what we're going to do is start basically like a service under a different brand. Still, the business is still strategy and conversions. There's still processes through there, but it's going to be a different brand, a different audience, and we're going to create information products and a program, bit of a course and stuff like that. And we're going to get customers into it and show people how we're going to do it. So I mean, the whole kind of podcast was going to be about that, but I've just summed it up in 2 minutes, Mark, right?
I think it's no one's done it well. I suppose you could argue that some other people have done it under different guises, but no one's done this before. So this was the whole point, wasn't it? When we were talking about momentum build, we thought, right, okay, we're telling people what to do. That sounds a bit bad. We're teaching people what to do, and as a lot of people do, you teach and people learn, and then they go off and they do it. But sometimes, when it comes to that teaching people what to do, is we were thinking about, well, how can we give them accountability of bringing that in? So yes, these are instructions. This is what you need to go away and do, and creates accountability. And then we thought, well, let's go a step further and actually show. So we're working on exactly the same timescales as everyone else. We're following exactly what we put in the whole momentum build on the training, so we can become accountable as they become accountable. So the people we work with can see that we're making it work, or we hopefully we're making it work, and we're doing the work, and we can explain what we've done, so people can actually see that, oh wow, I can see how this is going on. So they take heart from the fact that there's other people doing it and it's working. And when it comes to the accountability, the whole idea is that we can be as accountable as they are. So when we have our sort of group calls, we can be explaining where we are, what we have done to get there, and that's exactly the same conversation we can have with everyone else. And we'll have questions. Interestingly enough, I'm sure we will, and we'll come up with we'll have questions that we've come up with and thought, right, okay, this is the best way to get around that. But there's no reason why we can't say, well, this is what we thought was the best way to get around that, and other people may have different ideas, and then we can look at their challenges as well and see where they've been stuck, and we can obviously give the advice right up to the minute of what we've done. So the whole idea is that we're going to be doing this in the current market along with them, because too many people tell people what to do, but they've done it in a different environment and a different time. And I think it was essential that with everything that's going on at the moment, with all the the pandemic and in the UK, I'm talking about the UK at the minute, with the pandemic still being pretty, it's pretty virulent at the moment, and everyone's uncertainty about the economic conditions and all the rest of it, that we're in the same bed, so we're going to be running alongside them. So we are not preaching from a different era, a different piece of time about how to build a business.
I think that that's a big thing, isn't it? Is that there's so many different trainings and different gurus and stuff like that, and they're telling you what was working 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, and it doesn't work today. And the whole point there is that, yeah, look, we want to be in the trenches as well, making it work, because I think one of the big things that doesn't get told in the whole kind of marketing industry and business growth and all that kind of stuff is there are challenges. You will face challenges. There'll be challenges that you face that are just you. There'll be challenges that your industry face. There'll be challenges that you have with different platforms and stuff like that you have to come around, and overcome. And that's the whole point of us doing it as well, is that, well, look, if we do hit a barrier, if we do have some sort of challenge, chances are you may have this challenge as well, so look, let's show you how we overcame it to, get this result or get that result. And that's the thing you said about hopefully it works. It's like, well, the whole point is that, look, if we're going down a path and it isn't working, how do we then change it to get back on track to where, we need to be? And that, and like you said, I've never seen anyone do anything like this.
No. I was just thinking about people like, the Grant Cardone Millionaires Challenge, and people, they live and they've kind of done it for themselves, but they haven't done it for others as we're doing it. I don't think anybody, you're right. I don't think any business has done this and gone out on a limb, because we're going out on a limb. We have this idea. We followed the first 4 weeks that we've taught for people to think about. We've created we've got an idea. We've worked out the income we want to get from this business. We worked out what the turnover needs to be. We've looked at what we think the costs may be, how we're gonna actually do this, and every step that we've taught, we've followed. So we're going at the same pace that we've been asking people to go. So we're not racing ahead, and we're not. And we're not going to be lagging back because we know we can do it all in one go. We're doing it at the same point, at the same stage, at the same pace. So that's so we have that idea. We have an idea that we think is gonna run well. But who knows? It could fly, which we're hoping it will, but it could fall flat on its face. Yeah. And like you said, and the whole point about business is that when things fall flat in their face, when you have business failures, when you have situations arise that you hadn't even anticipated, it's all about what you do about it. It's not what happens, as many coaches will say. It's not about what happens. It's about what you do about what happens. And that's
mate. It's so true, isn't it? I think what happens as well is that there's so many people that they will try one thing, and it doesn't work, and then they're just like, I just throw in the towel, anything like that. And I was talking to someone the other week where we had, if you don't follow football, don't worry, this is all going to make sense, right? But the other week you had Manchester United play Liverpool, and Manchester now got hammered 5-0. And it's just like, it was all, it's a big thing. That's a proper kick in the teeth for Man United, just to lose that amount anyway. To lose to Liverpool is even more. But here's the thing: is that it's one game. It's like they could potentially. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, right? Don't quote me on this, but they could potentially go on to win the season.
Yes.
Right. It doesn't matter about one game. No. But I think when you have marketing, you have business and stuff like that, is people look to create a product, create a service, they put it out there, and no one buys, and then they're like, well, that was no good.
Yeah.
And then they put it back in their box and they continue doing whatever they were doing. But the whole point there is that it just didn't work for some reason, whether it was the offering, whether it was the way it was marketed, whether it was just marketed to the wrong people, it's that there's so many different, different factors that can impact something not working. It doesn't mean that what you have isn't a good idea.
Absolutely.
And that's the big thing that we're looking to do here, is that we, like you said, is that, look, we're not telling people what to do, but we're telling them the steps.
Yeah.
So we're telling them what steps they need to follow.
Yeah.
And then that is tailored to them, how they wish to make that happen for them. And then we obviously, look, I mean, this momentum builder, we're going to put a link in the chat here so you can check it out. But if you want to get involved, look, there's so many different elements to this. Not only are we doing this with you, we do the monthly group calls, we do We've got the ops room with lots of different training in there, and we're going to be adding different training to that. You have unbiased assist if there's something you don't quite get with the training, or something in your business you're struggling with. There's people, we've got the team there that will help you. We also have personal coach to us as well to keep you accountable when obviously achieving it and stuff like that. Yeah, like you said, it's doing that along with them as well, where we're actually showing that this isn't just something that we're saying, oh yeah, look, this is our get rich quick scheme, come in and buy this because you can do this, you can do that. We're putting ourselves on the line as well by saying, look, we're going to do it by following these steps.
Yeah, the steps that we preach. That's right. So yeah, it's as you said, never been done before, I don't think, by anybody. And that's what we try to be, isn't it? Innovative. This is the
I think that's it, isn't it? Innovative. And I mean that in a way as well, where what we've always tried to do with strategy and conversions is be a bit different.
Yeah.
We kind of said about it a long time ago. I say a long time ago. It seems a long time ago that we've been doing this, but it's been like 6 months with strategy and conversions, and about 3 months that we've been live properly. But we initially were talking. It was like, well, we could create some training, we could do some workshops, we could make some money. And it was like, well, look, we don't want to do that. Like, what we want to do is we want to, we've got this kind of, this vision, this mission to impact a 1,000. Well, we say impact, we say inspire and equip. Equip 1,000 ambitious business owners who want to, ambitious individuals who want to add the business income that they want. And to do that, we need to cover all bases. We need the training, we need the coaching, we need the accountability, we need the results. So it's like, look, how do we put that all into programs? Well, look, we've got 2 programs. The builder is you got your own pace. The accelerator is if you need our help to get things moving a lot faster. But the whole point there is that, over a year, we're looking at this building up. So we're not just saying, look, in 1 year's time, you start earning some income. We're looking at it by the end of month 3. You're looking at earning some money from what you have to offer there. But the whole point then is that we build on top of it to create an income stream then which is sustainable.
Yeah,
that gives you options that you can build on top of and stuff like that as well. But the whole point is that we build a sustainable income, because another factor that we said about was, well, look, we could easily just put together a training where someone could earn some money and then that's it, it's done. But we want to look at it as you build a sustainable income stream within your business, or if you're starting fresh, that is sustainable, that you can continue doing. So you can maintain it and sustain it at that level, or you could look at growth and add things to it.
Yeah. And it's interesting what you say about, we're not waiting for a year to make money on this, because we have no intention of putting money into it. Yeah. This is not going to be funded by us. This is going to be a separate income stream that has to be a viable business in its own right. So as soon as we have to start dipping into our own pockets and putting money into it, that's when we start to question as to whether it's a viable business. So the idea is that we're earning money pretty soon, so that we can start, it starts to become self-funding, and the more we earn from it, then the more we can reinvest into the business. Yeah, we've got the plan is that we're going to be taking an income from it, but we're going to be reinvesting a lot into the business. So at the end of the year, you don't just start taking income, but we have a business that is working well, can almost be to a position where it's sold. You can actually get to an income stream or a separate business entity where, if we wanted to, you could even start looking for buyers for that business. So the whole idea is that in 1 year you've built something that you can obviously grow, expand, scale, or say, okay, that was great. It's a great project. Love doing it. I want to sell it now. And so that means putting all the processes and all the kind of other stuff in place so it becomes attractive to a buyer. And of course, that also means it can't be reliant on us being the drivers of the business. It's got to be it's got to be to the stage where anybody can pick it up and take it on. And it's not just reliant on the knowledge that we have in our head. It's all documented. There's a process there. It's easy to follow. As I say, anybody can come in and say, right, this is your business. So it could be that, at the end of a year, this is for other people in Momentum Builder, which could be quite good. At the end of the year, we don't sell it, you can franchise it. Yeah. The whole idea is we have something that by the end of the year is not only self-sustainable, it's then scalable to either we do it ourselves, we have the options to do it ourselves, franchise, or sell.
So it's such a big point there, isn't it? Is that looking at that bigger goal for whatever it is. I mean, I think that some nuggets that you picked up on there as well that I didn't go into is that we've kind of said with Momentum Builder is that it doesn't matter on skill set and it doesn't matter on budget and it doesn't matter what you're trying to create. So we've kind of said, look, you may have a business already that something isn't quite working, or you want to add something to it. You want to add a different income stream to it. You may be looking at doing something completely different.
Yeah.
Where you want to just create a different income stream, or you want to create a business that is different, or you might just want to create a bit of a side hustle. And we talked about things like info products. We talked about courses, memberships, programs, coaching, all this kind of stuff that people can do that, although we're showing the steps, we're showing the framework, we're showing the processes, it is tailored to the individual for what they want to achieve. And what we're doing is just helping plan out then if it is going to be achievable and sustainable. We mentioned on the podcast before working with clients where we've kind of looked at the offer and gone, this isn't going to work for you.
Yeah.
This isn't going to bring you any money. And we'll be totally honest as well, even when we looked at what we're thinking about doing with this business, we looked at it originally and went, we need to sell 10,000 copies to hit our kind of income goal. And it's like, okay, well, if we tweak it this way and we change it that way, look, we need to get 100 customers.
Yeah.
And it's a different story then on how you go about marketing and stuff like that. I think that's a big thing where sometimes people look at pulling out a figure out of thin air and saying, this is what we want to earn. Well, why?
Exactly. Yeah. That's
and then breaking it down to the how.
Yeah.
And then, what with. And then it comes back then, or the other way around. But, it comes down into planning it all out, and that's really what we're doing now. And it may sound like this episode is just us bigging ourselves up again. But, the whole point of what we're talking about here, for one, that is a great program. We want to let people know that, for one, you can get involved. For two, we're getting involved as well. But three is that these podcasts, each month, what we're going to do is just give you a little roundup of where we are with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're not going to go into any detail. You need to be a member for that. That's what members get. But we are going to give you just a bit of a good, the bad and the ugly of what's going on with our journey each month. So you can follow along with us and just see, what we do.
And I think what's interesting there is you said about bigging ourselves up. If we wanted just to big ourselves up, we wouldn't be trying to do this ourselves.
Yeah, true.
The whole point is that we're not trying to blow a trumpet. We're actually doing this to add value to other people, because I'm sure we're going to come across things that we haven't anticipated, and the whole that for the members on the Momentum Builder, that when we come across things like that, we're going to share it and say, look, hang on, this is an issue we've just hit. If you're in the same, doing similar stuff to us, you might hit this issue as well. And the whole point about this, the collective calls at the end of each month, is we can share any pitfalls that people are having, and find ways of how we can get around it, including situations we may have. So the whole point of this is not. I know we mentioned this before in different trainings and stuff, but it's not about our ego and pumping our ego. It's about doing what we can do best to help others to give value to other people.
I think that's exactly it. I mean, the whole kind of world of self-development, personal development, coaching, marketing, growth, all this kind of stuff, it does get tarnished with a whole kind of get rich quick sort of industry where they're trying to take your money. And and don't get me wrong as well, I mean, you get some of these events or trainings where there's some really good ideas that come around, and you're really pumped, and then it gets to Monday morning and you're just like, I don't know what to do. And then the next week you're just like, oh yeah, that might have been a good idea, but I didn't do anything with it. And then a year later you're kicking yourself that you didn't do anything with it. And then you pay to go on another course to figure out, if you can do it again. But what we looked at was just going, right, okay, look, let's look at all the bases. How can we cover all of them? What is it we wish we would have had? What is it we wish we would have right now if we went to a mentor or something like that? And it was just like, do you know what? Look, we need the steps, we need the training, we need online, we need access to the actual people, we need a community, we need accountability. And we want some proof that, this actually works. So it's like, well, let's cover all of that and put it all together. And we even, I mean, this is insane as well, is that we've even got a double money back guarantee on it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's just like, if you don't make back the cost of the program, then you just give it back to you after a year.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to lose. 12 months, build a sustainable income stream or get your money back.
Yeah.
I know, no brainer, right?
Yeah. And that's because we want people to succeed. We want to show that we know what we're talking about, that we can build it ourselves, and that we want others to succeed. And then one other thing I'll mention about that is that strategy and conversions is still running. We're not putting all our attention to this new business, just as we're saying to other people, make sure that you've really evaluated that you have the time to do it. And so, and if you don't, think about your own business model. We've done exactly that. We've been having discussions, right? Have we got this much time for this? How much time is it going to take? So part of the planning is, if you want to create a separate income stream, you have to run that alongside your existing business, unless you're starting from scratch.
Or you may be in a job, and you're looking at this on the side and stuff like that.
So we're saying, okay, we are going to be running this alongside our existing business strategy and conversions, which obviously takes time as well. And so, we're not saying, okay, we're going to drop this and concentrate on that, because that's not what we're telling people to do.
Yeah.
We're telling people to carry on with their business, but let's add to the business. So you need to add something that is sustainable time-wise, as well as sustainable from a financial point of view. So that's one thing we need to tell people, is that we're not advocating we are doing what we're advocating other people to do.
I think that's a big thing. I was thinking as well, like you have like that whole kind of Blue Peter quote of like, here's one I prepared earlier.
Yeah.
Or like, if you're anywhere else in the world, you don't have a clue what we're talking about. Just think of like a cooking program or something like that, where they're telling you, oh yeah, all you need to do is mix this, mix that, and all of a sudden they've got a brand, like a cake that's been done, they don't actually show you the whole process. I think that you get that a lot with people, where they say, oh yeah, just copy what I did, to earn all these millions and stuff. And it's like, well, when you did it, there was no competition, or it was a different world, or this happened, that happened,
different.
Exactly that. We're saying, look, the next 12 months, you want to earn money, you want to earn that sustainable income stream, and do you know what? It goes deeper than that as well, because what we've actually kind of said to people is like, look, you can earn and learn at the same time. Because the stuff that we're teaching doesn't just mean that at the end of the 12 months you throw it away. You have those skills. You can continue using them within your business. You could even do it for other people, or you can then continue building your business, and you can even continue with our help if you need it.
That's the point, isn't it? That at 12 months you know what works. And you have the process, you have everything that you know what works. So you have not only built a business, but you've gone through this whole process of building it. So like you said, you can even teach others to do it if you want to. So you've gone through this, and you know how it works. So the point is, then you can just you can scale that one, add a new one, whatever gives you whichever way you want to go. You have the choice and the option to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's it. And just, I would just end on this as well, just by saying, if you are interested in Momentum Builder, then we'll put the link into the chat. It isn't a case of it starts on a date and it runs for 12 months. You can join into it anytime. It's just that it's a 12-month program then. For you to achieve that. And also you see everything that we're doing as we go along.
But don't think you won't be earning until 12 months time.
I think that's been the big misconception, hasn't it? That when we spoke to people before, is they kind of just said, oh, okay, is it just one of those programs that you got to pay out for 12 months and do a lot of work for 12 months and then hope that you start to earn some money? Well, how do I get the guarantee that way? It's like, no, look, we've looked at that. We know that people need to earn money sooner rather than later. So let's look at, within that first quarter, we gain the clarity, we gain the confidence and the courage to put the stuff out there and to actually start earning. And then as we move into the other 3 quarters, well, now we're looking at how we market that to bring more people in, how we sustain it, how we grow it, how we measure it as well. I think that's the big part that, we kind of looked at, is that measuring. How do you know that you're on track? How do you know it's working? How do you know what to change or when to change? So look, all bases are covered there. I think it's really been good. I loved as well, mate. I had we got one member in there that I spoke to the other week, and they basically just said, what is it? What is it I've purchased here? I was like, what do you mean? They said, well, as soon as you said that you were doing it, I was all in. I was just like, I'm all in. I know whatever you were doing would have been good, so I'm all in. But what is it I've got to do? And it's just like, that there. The reason I'm saying that as well is that, yeah, look, it's not that we've just thought we'll set up a company and do it. This is something that we've been doing for years and years.
Yeah.
I think collectively we said almost 40 years between us. But
yeah.
I think even if you just take the last 10 years, like the experience and knowledge that we've had in doing things and making this work for us anyway, doing it for other people and helping other people achieve their success in business.
Yeah.
Now putting it in a way where it's just kind of formatted in steps that you can easily follow along, I think is, well, as I said before, we're definitely undercharging, but we can explore that in a year's time when when we get to a certain amount of members that we think is not going to be feasible to give all our attention to. So yeah, we'll look at that at some point. But yeah, I think that's the kind of the overview of what we're doing, and just a little insight into our world. And we'll keep you updated throughout this podcast. But it is one of those things that I just think like nothing like this exists. The amount of value is insane.
Yeah.
And the risk free, being that there's a a double money back guarantee, is just like if anything, you just have to check it out.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if yes, right. You must click on the link, have a look, see if it's for you. But really, there isn't anything like it around. This really now. I know it's a very glib thing to say, but this icing on the cake of us doing it sets it apart from any other program out there.
I think as well, we touched on this in some training we were doing, where we said you get lots of people talk about making tens of millions. You get people talking about, oh yeah, double your business in a year's time. And it's like that's great if you want that, but not everyone wants that. Some people just want to start earning a bit of money. Some people just want to add 20%.
Yeah.
And we've kind of looked at it. It's just been like, yeah, what? Let's look at that whole kind of 60K mark. Let's look at putting together what we do to make 60K. Then that's a good starting base or a good increase for anyone who wants to follow along. If you want to earn more than that, if you do want to earn mega millions, yeah, look, it's fine. Just make sure you want to put in the work.
Exactly right. Yes, because there will be work,
and there may be some investment as well. But that's just us being, just showing it that it works no matter what it is. But obviously, the faster you want to go and the more you want to achieve, it will require, different sides to it. But if you just want to, do something for yourself, you don't need any budget, any skill set. We're going to show you what to do.
Check it out.
Yeah, I think that's it. Mark, it's always been a pleasure.
Indeed, it has indeed. Yep.
That's it. I look forward to the next episode. We've got something special coming up on that one as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you definitely subscribe. So you get notified when it comes out. And we'll see you then.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, everybody.
Take care.